What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be starting up my brother's car. So I know I didn't get to take a lot of videos because he was mainly doing this when I was on vacation, but basically I don't know if you guys are familiar. I don't think I've ever recorded this car or at least shown you guys my brother's car in depth, at least. Basically he has a 340i as well, and it used to be stock turbo with just downpipes. These are all his stock parts right here. He just had literally catalyst downpipe, charge pipe, and MSD intake. It was tuned on E50 by my same tuner as me, Samet Yehia. But he recently we're finally wrapping up the install on a big single turbo, as you guys can see. So he is running a what is this? The Spool kit?
Top mount Spool performance.
There you go. Yeah, Spool top mount performance. So
it's a PSR turbo, but it's AKA G35 gear 1050.
So essentially, what he did is I don't know if you guys can see it back there, but it says Spool right there. So this is the new Spool top mount single turbo kit that they're finally started offering for the B58s. So far, fitment is great. The only downfall that he had to face, and that's kind of his fault, or it's not his fault, but it's kind of like a sacrifice he wanted to do, is that the turbo kit that Spool provides is not as big as the one he wanted to run. So essentially, he wanted to run a G35 1050 equivalent. So it's essentially a 68 millimeter turbo. 6872? 6862. While I'm running a 6662. Or 6762 on mine, my bad. So essentially, I freaked out. So we're getting ready to turn it on. We have all the fittings, all the vacuum lines and everything all routed up. Honestly, it should be a pretty easy start. We had the turbo already primed. We have coolant in. We still have to do the bleeding process. The DMEs are all plugged back in. All of them are solid. No issues. I'm gonna just double check because sometimes these things don't fully plug in. Yeah, it's good. And then we finally got some coolant. All the fueling is routed. We had a small issue right here. As you can see, it's a temporary fix, but we had a small leak. A very small leak, like it'll just drip once in a while. Try to do everything we can, but honestly it was just leaking, and I think it was just best off to just go ahead and install or just put on electrical tape for the meantime while the new fitting comes in. So don't worry about that, guys. That's not how he's going to be running it permanently. Yeah, so essentially what's the setup essentially is a 68 millimeter pulsar turbo top mount kit. The only fitment, like I said, since he had the issue, was the downpipe not fitting with the exhaust. And that's only mainly because the downpipe is fabbed up to a specific turbo, but he wanted to go extra and be fast as hell, and he wanted to go with bigger turbo. So now the downpipe doesn't fit because the downpipe was originally fabbed up to fit a certain turbo while he decided to go upgrade it. So now all the fitment is thrown off a little bit. That's not the kit's fault. Spool Performance did a great job installing this or creating this and designing it. Isn't it made of billet? Like the whole manifold is billet?
Yeah, so it's made of billet. It's twin scroll, and yeah.
Essentially, it's a top quality piece. I don't know if you guys could see it down there. Look how shiny that is. That's all billet, nicely ceramic coated. Even the dump pipe, the wastegate dump and the wastegate are located down there. And overall install was fairly easy. So everything else is essentially a 68 millimeter. He does have port injection installed. What kind of injectors are you running?
1050.
1050. So he has the ID 1050X injectors. He has the Dodge Stage 2 fuel pump, and he has my old Vader Solutions low pressure fuel pump, which is essentially just a twin pump setup. It's a stock fuel pump, and I think it's a Walbro 450 or these were 3 something.
It's a 450.
It's a 450, I believe. All the wiring for the DME is all set up. He did that himself. I just finished tuning and programming the motive reflex. So essentially this car is ready to start, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, the turbo is bled, so let's go ahead and start it up and see. I'll go ahead, I'm gonna scream out cut it just in case if there's anything, okay? 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna look around. Make sure that all fittings are good. Fuel pump good. Turbo is good. There's no leak down there for the oil. Nothing. Coolant topped off. Fuel, no leak. It's still dry down there. Okay. All right. Whenever you're ready, start her up. is like spinning pretty cool. So let me just add a little bit more coolant onto the thing. But other than that, the car is also open dump, guys. That's why it sounds like that. Because there's no exhaust, so there leaked out back there. It's not leaking, huh? Give it like a baby rev. A turbo though, but the turbo is so big it takes forever to spool up. But the open dump sounds loud. But honestly, open dump does not sound as loud as I thought. But maybe it's because of the turbo. But no leak back there. Fuel lines look good. The oil feed line and the oil return line are all good. No leaks on that. Cooling lines are good. Is that a leak I see? Nah, I'm not seeing any leaks, honestly. Your base mat? Why? Okay. Okay. Just in case you guys are wondering, this is how my car is. So my car is actually tuned by Same, while his car is tuned by Doug Noon. In my opinion, there's really two good tuners, but yeah, I know. I'm running a Garrett 67mm GTX 1000 kit, so I'm sure you guys have all seen that already. I've had a whole install video on it, while his is running the top mount single, so it shouldn't be too much. We're gonna go ahead and run these two cars, see the difference. But all your oil and all the things like burning off from the downpipe and everything. Yeah, let me fill it up more. All right, so it is now day 2. Basically getting this car ready to run. I mean, today we already had our first start, as you guys saw in the previous clip, but we had some minor issues, minor cricks and stuff like that. So basically, good job on this thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's because like basically what happened was we had an issue where the fuel line, the custom fuel line we made, was leaking, but it was weird because it was coming from the hardline area, which is this hard line right here. This is the actual car. This comes from the actual car, and then it connects to the custom fuel line that AJ made, as you guys can see, and it goes back, loops around, it does a 180-degree into the Dodge stage to fuel pump. We had one leak like right here, coming from here, so he bought a new fitting, and you said that it was still leaking, right?
It was still leaking, so I was assuming that it's the actual hard line itself.
Yeah.
But from what I've noticed, like the tip of it doesn't have like this protective sleeve, so I kind of just had to improvise to have like electrical tape to have a little bit of, so basically so it'll fit snug.
Yeah. So.
And I did it, and so far it's been good.
So basically we had a small leak in that little fuel line, so it's all good now. We're doing a bleeding procedure for these cars, which is cool. You can either do a bleeding procedure that takes like 14 minutes, whether you can do some weird foot pedal movement procedure thing, and then the electronic water pump will turn on, and then it'll start bleeding it. So both of them are full, so we're waiting for that to bleed. We got the base mat from our tuner, and then he has the turbo primed up, so can't wait. So for the next clip, it should be us pulling this car out of the driveway. So we're doing the first drive now. It's fucking loud, but it's open dump. I don't know if you guys can hear the turbo, but the turbo sounds really good. It's a little smoky right now because of all the titanium heat wrap and all the ceramic spray and our oily hands. It's basically burning off. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's kind of hazy on the hood. But yeah,
How do people
really
drive
good
with
right
this down open?
honestly, I don't know how people drive opened up the whole time, but it sounds hella good. I look, you want to do opened up in my car now.
It's so loud. Yeah.
So all the smoke vapors are coming out. Any leaks back there? Is it leaking? A little bit. Dude, just stand out here. Look how badass your shit looks. You take a side picture, like that kind of looks nice, huh?
I know.
Alright, let's go.
It's not deep.
Well, yeah, it's open dump, but also the manifold is like a different size. So that's why everything is gonna sound a little different right now. But it vibrates for sure though, because the downpipe is hitting the chassis right now. It's hitting, but well, fuel pressure is steady. It's supposed to be like high 80s, which is where it's roughly I see at, like 87. I see a lot. And then this is supposed to be around 1300 to 1400 on idle. Full throttle, which would be like 28 or so.
Right now, so that's 108. So
It's always, it needs to be 20 degrees over ambient. So
Okay,
89, so
yeah.
83, 108, roughly the same. So coolant is bled properly. But let's go ahead and see. Going back. I'll go ahead and log it. Hop on the left lane. You're gonna make it. I have to make a U-turn. I don't know if you guys can hear that on video, but the turbo is loud. Just idling, you can hear it. Before I turn. Come on. Damn. Let's do a baby pull, third gear pull. Wait, slow down. A little quick walk around.